Welcome to Take a Break, Take a Breath for Friday, November 27th. I'm Rick Boyer, the pastor of Prospect Presbyterian Church, and Take a Break, Take a Breath is an invitation to pause in your day, to take a break and breathe for a moment, to center yourself in God who made you and loves you, who calls you by name, and who extends God's grace and mercy and compassion on you. Each time that we have a Take a Break, Take a Breath session, I look at a different psalm, and today we are up to Psalm 107. Psalm 107 is the opening psalm of Book 5, and it opens the way Book 4 does, and in many ways is still a response to all of the crises that the people are facing. What's happened to the steadfast love of the Lord is the question. Will it sustain us or not? And Psalm 107's response is a resounding yes. In fact, the verses that I want to use are a call to extend thanks to God for God's steadfast love. And the ending verse, which I don't use, suggests that the wise should consider the steadfast love of God. In the middle are 4 examples of how God's steadfast love is extended to those who wandered in the desert, which is a symbol of chaos, and then to those who are experiencing oppression and imprisonment, and then to those who are sick. And that can be read literally, I guess, actually, or it can be read metaphorically. And then to those who are on the sea, which is also a symbol of chaos. So it begins and ends those examples with chaos and turmoil, and in the middle faces some of the most challenging times. And in each case, as they're going through these struggles, what turns it is when they cry out to the Lord. And what the psalmist is suggesting to us in this psalm is that our whole lives are lived in need for God. We're always in some kind of struggle or trouble. And that as long as we are encouraged to live wisely, and to live wisely is to live our lives in dependence on the steadfast love of God, and to give thanks to God. So on the day of Thanksgiving, it seems like a good psalm. And the verses that I want to use are 1 and 2. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for God is good, for God's steadfast love endures forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so, those God redeemed from trouble. So I invite you to go to a quiet place in your house. Close the door if it has a door in this quiet place. Settle into a chair and breathe deeply. And as you breathe in the breath of God. And as you breathe out all that separates you from God. Breathe in the breath of life. Breathe out all that does not give you life. Breathe in God's peace, and breathe out all your worries and anxieties and fears and concerns. Continue to breathe deeply, breathing in life, breathing out that which does not give you life. And imagine that with each breath, the peace of God is spreading over your body. Imagine it like the warm water of a shower running down over your head. And as it does so, the peace of God calms and stills and relaxes the places on your body where it runs. So as it runs down over your head, it calms and stills your mind. And as it runs down over your face, it relaxes the muscles in your face, maybe even causing you to smile. It relaxes the muscles in your jaw. And as it runs down over your neck, it relaxes the muscles in your neck. And if there's been tension there up into your head, creating a headache, it relaxes those muscles and that tension and eases the pain. And as it flows down over your shoulders and down your arms to the tips of your fingers, the muscles in your shoulders are relaxed, and the peace of God settles on them. And your hands are relaxed and open. As it moves down your back, all of the tensions that you carry in your back are released. As it moves down over your chest, your lungs are filled with good air, life-giving air, and peace. And your heart calms to a resting pace. As it moves down over your stomach, it calms any jumpiness and eases any indigestion. As it moves down your legs to the tips of your toes, the muscles in your thighs and calves relax. And you are covered and surrounded and immersed in the peace of God. The steadfast love of the Lord endures forever. God's steadfast love for you endures forever. And in your mind's eye, go to a great Thanksgiving feast. You can pick whatever you want. You can make one up, or you can pick a favorite one in your memory of a time past. You're seated there with everyone else, and the conversation is back and forth and back and forth. And then a time for grace and thanksgiving comes. And someone suggests at the table, maybe a guest you don't recognize, let us give thanks to God for God's steadfast love. And at first you react like, these things, But in the current context, people go deep and they talk about how God's steadfast love has been with them. And they really, truly, deeply give thanks. Do you feel in yourself a desire to give thanks as well? I'll be quiet while you listen to the things that others lift up, and while you listen to what is being called forth in you to give thanks to God on this day. And then the time comes for the meal to begin, and the laughter and the conversation and the passing of the plates and the thanksgiving continues in the joy of a meal. Allow that image now to fade away and bring yourself back to the room where you are. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Let's take a break, take a breath for Friday, November 27th. I'm grateful for the time that you chose to spend with me on this day. I am thankful for the community of faith where I am serving as pastor, and for the friendship of many, many people in this congregation and community. I pray that this Thanksgiving season, although we may not be able to be together with those we love, is one where we are still aware of God's steadfast love. If you have feedback or you want to talk or pray, send an email to rick@prospectchurch.org.